Today we're gonna work. Today we're gonna working on Leetcode question number 336, palindrome pairs. Given a list of unique words, return all the pairs of the distinct indices I, J in the given list, so that the concatenation of the two words of I and words of J, is a palindrome. So over here the answer is 0 1 1 0 3 2 2 4, because one is gonna be combined with this one. It's okay. One is gonna be combined with this one, and this is gonna be a palindrome, ABCD and then DCBA. So there is one of the answers. The other one is 1 0. If you do DCBA with the ABCD, that is also gonna be a palindrome. 3 2, which is SLLS, which is gonna be a palindrome, and 2 4, which is LLS and then SSSLL, that is gonna be a palindrome. For this one, we're gonna be using the try model. We're gonna be defining a try class and searching the try data structure. Really does really good when we are actually searching the characters in a string. So let's just define that class first. So it's gonna be a private static class called try. We're gonna have a few things here. What is the next one? That would be a try node. So actually this try class is gonna be a try node too. So try node is gonna be we're gonna have an array of that, so we'll call it next, then the current index where we are, and then a list of like integers. Because we're gonna have different one try node. We're gonna be starting with that one, but then what is the whole characters of the integer representation of the characters in the string. We're gonna keep the record of that. So for that we're gonna need list of integer, let's call it list, and we're gonna initialize it, or the constructor is gonna have a try node. The next is gonna just become equal to new try node, 26, because there are 26 lowercase English characters. And then we're gonna have our starting index is gonna be -1, meaning we don't know what's the first character of this try node, and the list is just gonna be a new array list. Okay, the two things, like in the palindrome pair, in the function, what we're going to be doing is like, let's create the result, which would be just like list of integer. Result is equal to new array list. Okay, and then we're gonna have our try node root, which is gonna be new try node. Okay, and we're gonna initialize it. Then we're gonna do basically two things. First of all, we're gonna take a word and put it in, like populate the try node. So for that we're gonna say int I is equal to 0, I is less than the words dot length I plus plus. So for this one we're gonna call a helper function called add word. We're adding this the new word inside the root, and that would be words of I, and we want to know the index of that too. Once we're done constructing or populating this string information into this try node data structure, we're gonna search for it. For that, we're gonna say int I is equal to 0, I is less than the words dot length, I plus plus. We're gonna be saying search and then the words and then the current index, the try node root, and the result, which is basically gonna get populated after the searching operation. And then in the end, we're gonna be returning the result. So the last two things we need to do is like to define this add word function and the search function, right? Yeah, and in our case, the search is gonna be the one which is gonna be calling the palindrome, like checking a function which is gonna check the if the uh, if the word if the string is a palindrome or not. Okay, let's get to this private void add word. Okay, it takes try node root, a string word, and an index. Okay, what it does is like it goes through the length of the string. I is equal to word dot length. I is greater than equal to 0. I negative negative. Okay, one other thing is that we're gonna start with the length minus 1 so that yeah, we are inbound. Okay, so let's see what is the current character. For that, we're gonna say actually the current character integer representation. So that would be is equal to that word dot character at I minus a. Okay, so once you have the current integer representation of the current character, we want to say that the roots the root next is null for that integer representation of that character is null or not. So we're gonna say that if the root dot next at j is equal to null, we're gonna create a new one at that index. Root dot next at j is gonna be a new try node. Okay, otherwise, or even once we are done with that, now we want to check that uh, if it is a palindrome or not. If we're gonna use a helper function here is palindrome. uh, the way we're gonna be checking it out is like sending the word the like where exactly you wanna start and go up to. So there it would be 0 to uh, 0 to I. So that would be the starting and the ending 1. So if that is a palindrome from 0 to I, we're gonna say root dot list dot add that index. You can add that index, and then we're gonna go to the next one. Root is equal to root dot next add j. Right. Once we are done with this for loop, basically we are done processing that, like adding that word, but we still need to add that like index, like we're gonna update the index. So that would be root dot list dot add index, and then the root dot index is gonna be equal to that index. The last thing we want to do is to define the search function, private void search, which does take array of strings of, let's call it words, and I, that would be the like where exactly we are. So this is because when we were calling the search function, we were telling him like where should you start looking for, looking at, like at what index you should start looking at for this word, and then the try node root, and the last thing we want to fill up is the list of integer, list of integer. This is the result once we are done searching for that. So again, our j is gonna start from 0 and it's gonna go to like so which string we are looking for. So basically we are looking for words of I, that is the particular string we are looking for, and then dot length. So the j is gonna go up to this length. J is less than dot length, and then j plus plus. Okay, so now we wanna make sure, because we wanna be adding this we wanna be adding that like the root is basically a try node, but we wanna take the, like we wanna change it to list, and then we wanna add it if basically there are a few conditions are meeting. If first thing is that the root dot index is greater than equal to 0, and the index and the I is not actually equal to the index. The root dot index is not equal to I, and at the same time this thing is palindrome, is palindrome words of I, and again, as we said, that we are sending the that one, and we are also sending the limits where you should start looking for j, from j to words of I dot length, basically the length of that to the end of that length of that string, the length, because it's a string, so it's gonna be like that. So if there is palindrome, we're gonna be adding it to the result, but because it's a try node, we're gonna say that the array dot as list. Then we're gonna tell him that it's the I, and then the root dot index. And this is because we are not actually adding the string itself into the result. We're just supposed to tell the index, like where exactly is that occurring, like where in the words input, where exactly that string is. So that's why we just need to add the I and the root dot index. Okay, once we're done with that, we can update our root just like we did over here. Yeah, so root dot next is the word dot character at j minus a, That's what we should look for. Oh, basically that's gonna become our new root, and then we're gonna say that if the root has become equal to null, we can just return root is equal to null. You can just return. Okay, and once we are out of this for loop, what we can do is like inside that root dot list, like whatever is like, because root dot list is the list of integers, so we're gonna say that j inside that root dot list. Okay, we're gonna say that when this j becomes equal to I, you can continue. We don't want to do anything. Otherwise, you're gonna add it to the result. Result dot add arrays dot as list, and I and then j. Okay, the last thing left is to define this function called private. We are returning a boolean for that. It's called palindrome. Is palindrome. What it does is like it takes a word and a starting point and an ending point. So once you have that, all you have to check is like, while I is less than j, and check if we have the same characters at the two locations. Word dot character at I plus plus is not equal to word dot character at j negative negative, and like whenever that happens, just return false. Otherwise, once you are done with that, you can just return true. Okay, so we have a typo here. I think it should be arrays. Same way. Yeah, we're converting only over here and here. That looks good. Okay. Oh, you need to tell him. You need to tell him like because this is an array, so that's gonna be this. Looking good. And it works.